Alright, so we got the chapter 404 spoilers, and this chapter is absolutely incredible. I can't wait to talk about it, so let's just get right into it. Because the chapter begins with a flashback to Night Eye's cruel death, Foresight. As All For One holds All Might in his arms, we then see the reaction of various people around the world watching the battle and living their lives. So that's pretty wild. Like, all those years ago, the original cruel death foresight that Night Eye had about All Might was him seeing like a middle school version of All For One ripping All Might in half. A farmer has already given up. Lots of people are cheering, and a dog boy named Martin says, "Man, I don't want All Might to die." Meryl, the US weather report lady, shows up again, and her colleagues say that her video about the butterfly effect has been posted online. Meryl is looking at the computer and says that the air current is acting weird, and a narration says that the wind blows strong, showing those leaves that have been featured in some chapters. Bakugo looks at Deku and goes flying towards him. So yeah, Bakugo is back in case anybody wasn't aware. After Edgeshot had literally become his heart, healing him from the damage that he had taken from Shigaraki, he'd finally gained consciousness in the previous chapter, gaining the attention of like everyone there, All Might, All For One, Shigaraki, and now apparently he's just flying straight at Izuku, and they begin holding hands and start spinning in the air like they did in Heroes Rising. The second user warns him that using Gear Shift again will exhaust him even more, but Deku uses it on Baku anyway, and All Might's vestige keeps fading away. Oh man, this is incredible. So we saw that Izuku can use Gear Shift, which is the second user's quirk, where it allows him to change the speed at which things accelerate through space. And when Izuku uses this, he's actually doing it at a cellular level, so like all of his cells are accelerating, so he becomes like a Super Saiyan, even more than that possibly. And I didn't even think of him using it on other people because, you know, he has to touch himself to activate it, but he could just touch somebody else like he is with Bakugo here. So now all of Bakugo's cells are being accelerated, and on top of him already using his cluster power up, I'm assuming, Bakugo is easily replicating the speed and maneuverability of, I guess, One For All at 100%. I mean, come on. And also, as the second user is warning Izuku here that it will exhaust him even more, he was kind of put on a timer before because how much strain Gear Shift puts on him. So I originally thought that time was going to run out and Izuku was like going to pass out and need to recover for a little bit, but it seems like we're going directly towards the end of the series from here, like in the next 10 chapters, I guess. So I don't think that's going to happen at this point. Deku throws Bakugo, but Shigaraki's smiling. He says that Bakugo won't make it in time to save All Might. He knows that All Might's vestige inside of One For All's vanished and a new one appeared. A more human-like one, similar to the other users. We then see the new vestige. But first, let's talk about the sponsor of this video, Skillshare. Skillshare has classes on a wide variety of topics, including illustration, graphic design, photography, creative writing, animation, fine art, music, film and video, craft, social media, and more. Whether you want to learn the basics of watercolor painting or learn how to start your own creative business, Skillshare has classes to take you from beginner to pro alongside a supportive community. So as a full-time creator, I've really been trying to be more productive lately, and Skillshare has really been able to help me with that by first of all introducing me to Notion, which is a customizable workspace app, and I was able to learn how to use this very well with the Notion for YouTube creators easily manage your creative projects class by Ashante Bean. Ashante really helped me explore the app's potential by using databases, relations, roll-ups, and formulas, which helped me create an all-in-one content calendar that really helped me easily manage recurring content tasks. But aside from Notion, I also wanted to be productive overall, so I also took the Productivity Habits That Stick using time theming by Mike Vardy. Mike really helped me time theme my days to work more efficiently, and he helped me utilize tools like Todoist to support my daily goals. This class really gave me like an arsenal of strategies to personalize my productivity. So guys, get Skillshare today by clicking the link in the description, because the first 500 who do will get access to one of Skillshare's best offers, which is 30 days free and 40% off your first year of your Skillshare membership. Thanks guys. The death of the man who brought dreams to this world will bring the real world back, says Shigaraki. But then the wind gets even stronger and a narration begins, talking about the people who prayed and cheered for All Might. It flashes back to Night Eye's words about everyone's wishing energy changed the future. just like the flap of a butterfly's wing in Brazil can bring about a hurricane in Texas. Everyone's prayers. This is starting to sound a little bit like a certain character's theory on how devil fruits work in One Piece. We then see a beautiful double spread with all the characters watching the fight and praying as Bakugo flies through the air. He remembers the guilt he felt for being the one who ended All Might, but not this time. Bakugo explodes All for One's arms and saves All Might. The vestige goes back to looking like before, just a bunch of flames. As All Might says, "Young Bakugo," Bakugo, bleeding from his nose and mouth, shouts, "We'll win this!" End of chapter. Wow, that was incredible. So let's break this down. So as we talked about before, this is essentially completing Bakugo's character arc. Or we're very close to it. I'm sure he'll have some final moments with Izuku, similar to like Goku and Vegeta at the end of the Buu saga. But it says that Bakugo remembers the guilt he felt for being the one who ended All Might. We talked about that before, how that haunted Bakugo even to this day. But now he's finally been able to save him and finally has redeemed himself, especially just in his own eyes, which is like the most important to Bakugo. And he's also altering Night Eye's future, just as Izuku did going against Overhaul. I mean, he's also talking about the wishing energy changed the future and all that stuff, but that was never really something before until now, I guess, so I wouldn't really put too much into that. But this is great, right? This is essentially the best case scenario, I suppose. Because I was preparing myself for All Might to die for a while now, like the last couple months. And I was wondering, like, man, what do I say? Like, do I get personal with it? Do I get deep? Because he's like my favorite character. He's like one of my favorite fictional characters ever. But it's like, I don't have to worry about any of that because he's alive. And it's like, oh, felt like a friend was gonna die there. But after Bakugo showed up, I was like, nah, there's no way. So I'm glad that Gege has done the correct thing here, which has essentially allowed us to have our cake and eat it. Maybe it's not that good. Having our cake and eat it would be like if All Might got his powers back, So I guess we can have our cake and then get to smell it. Maybe that's a little better phrasing here. And now that I'm thinking about it, it would be really messed up if in the next chapter Horikoshi just kills All Might anyway after this. I don't think he'll do that. That's like something Gege would do. So I'm thinking we're safe here, and I'm very happy about this. And like I said in my previous review, I'm thinking that this is ultimately going to lead to Bakugo being the one who defeats All for One. Because now that it says that he's exploded All for One's arms, he's going to heal again, and then I guess he's going to have like a straight up final battle with Bakugo, like middle school All for One versus Bakugo, which I think is a very satisfying final fight for Bakugo. I mean, why not? Like Shigaraki versus Izuku, Bakugo versus All for One. There you go. Those should be the two final fights of the series. However, like I've also been saying, I don't think Bakugo is going to have like the final say in defeating All for One. Like, I'm sure he'll get the surface level victory, but the one who has to like ultimately erase him from existence has to be Shigaraki, or at least Tenko. It'll probably be Tenko if it's not Shigaraki. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this one, guys. I will go way more into this in my review for the chapter, which will be out later this week. So subscribe if you haven't already. And if you like the video, please give it a like, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.